G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east side of the map in the color yellow, it's Protoss Master. And on the west side of the map, playing as the Mongols in the color purple, it's Numudan. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Altai. We're here watching two pretty decent players going at it right now. For anybody who doesn't know Numudan, he is currently on the ladder, I think about rank 35, Protoss Master about rank 50, so these guys are very, very close to each other when it comes to skill, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Now, a lot of people have been giving me flack about all the English games that I'm casting, and look, at the end of the day, the reality is I'm an English main now. I was trying to think of a reality in which, like, you guys were right, but at the same time, I could also cast English games, and it just didn't exist. So it's a good call. Look, it's feedback. I'll take it on board. I'll take that feedback on board the same way that your supervisor is going to take feedback on. They're not going to take. I'm sorry. We're barely a minute into this game and I'm already giving you guys crap. Anyway, how you guys doing? Welcome. I'm looking forward to this game. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the English. I'm a big fan of this matchup because this is one of those matchups that if you're playing at the lower level, you're going to have a lot of trouble with this matchup if you're the English. But as you get better at the game, naturally, you're going to get better at the game, obviously. But as you get better at the game and go up the ladder, it's going to become harder for the Mongol players and easier for the English players. And there's a lot of reasons why that is, but essentially, English are a great defensive civilizations. They've got a lot of things that are going on for them that help them be really good on the defense. And it takes a little bit of skill to get to utilize that thing, to utilize those bonuses. But obviously, I mean, I don't need to list the bonuses for you guys. You know just how good these English bonuses are when it comes to all of the ways in which the English can defend themselves. All right, well, checking in with the Mongol base. It looks like we've just got a standard opening. I say standard opening, a standard passive opening. A pasture is going to be built up. Now, I think what's also interesting here is that you haven't actually needed to go for this. Like, very obviously, there is plenty of deer right here, yet Numudan still goes for the pasture and lets those sheep start to build up. We can see that out on the map, Numudan's done a great job gathering up sheep. Already 6 sheep going to be coming through for him. He's going to be really happy with that. That's a great little opening. I like this pasture, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't bother spending the wood on this. It's expensive, but Numudan still does it. So I think it's a smart move. Almost a little bit of an insurance policy here. Anyway, on the other side of the map, Council Hall is going to begin going down. Protoss Master, also going to be a bit of an English Master, it seems. Now, obviously, Protoss in StarCraft 2 were known as the lame, not the lame civilization, but the brain-dead civilization. So when it comes to, like, the concept of brain dead, it was basically like, I remember when I used to play StarCraft, I played back in the day where it was like, I played back in the beta before I went on deployment. And I remember at the time, the highest rank that you could get was Diamond. And well, look, a little bit of bragging right now. I'll have you know that within my Diamond League, I was the first ranked player. I've still got a screenshot of it. I think it's like, I don't remember what the year, actually the year must have been like 2010, somewhere around that, maybe 2011, somewhere around that. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Protoss. Yeah, it's a fun civilization. You basically just make the equivalent of like 4 barracks, and then you just stop making workers and you just make units out of that. And that was the old strategy. And then I think they introduced more workers, and then it became like I think it was like 8 gates or 7 gates or something like that. Anyway, Protoss, it's always been a civilization or a faction where you don't have to use a lot of your brain. Let's just put it that way. All right, well, the barracks is going to be going down now for Protoss Master. So immediately when you see this barracks, you can assume, okay, it's probably not going to be a one-base play. It's going to be some early aggression coming out here. And that's obviously quite different. Like, from the perspective of Numudan, when he's looking at this, he's thinking, okay, well, wait, deer stones? Numudan's going deer stones on this map? This is a little bit crazy. I don't understand what's this about. Why would he go deer stones here? Especially when you've got such a great spawn already. So you just throw down your traders right here, send them out to the corner, put the market up here. I wonder why he's not going for trade. Trade seems like such an easy win on this map, especially against the English. But I guess maybe he knows something that we don't. Maybe as the Protoss Master, it's so natural for English just to one base here. Maybe that... Don't tell me that's what Protoss Master is going to be doing. He's just going to be playing one base, old school English. This is your old school style of English. And this, to be honest, this is the kind of style that Protoss is, right? Like... I mean, he's still creating villages. That's not going to stop, because in Age of Empires, you don't do that because villages pay off so quickly. But when it comes to when you've got StarCraft, it's a little bit different. Spearman number 1 going to be coming out. Should be more than enough to repel this. He's just going to be careful that he doesn't lead these longbows too far away. Looking to focus down the Khan, doing a pretty decent job there. Longbow number 1 is going to go down, but he's going to lose a horseman for it. Second one going to be taken down as well. It's curious to me that he's actually not looking to drop down the Palings. Palings here would just be such great value, because not only do you get the stun, you also look at the trades coming through. 3 for 2. Honestly, that's not bad, because you do throw out a lot of tempo that the Protoss player was going to be going for. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. I know he's not playing Protoss. I know he's playing English, but this is This kind of speaks to me. The style that he's playing. Village is going to be moved forward. Because it's very all in, isn't it? Like, and that's really where he's coming from. I can't believe it. I was half expecting to see gateways in his base for a second there. I was like, where are the gateways? But yeah, it's... the reason why I don't really like this English strategy is I feel like it doesn't really play to the strengths of the English. I think that as the English... You've got so much going on for you on the defensive that it just makes sense to kind of stay underneath your base. And look, he's still taking advantage of the things that he's got. As an example, Longbowmen, they've got that extra range, they've got extra attack. So they're a great unit, and you can take advantage of things like their network of castles bonus. But it's one of those things that it's just like you're really like your villages, you're not really leaning into that. Your town centers, you're not leaning into that. Your cheaper farms with greater gather speed, you're not really leaning into that. So yeah, not utilizing a whole lot of strengths here, but Protoss Master, we'll see what he's up to. He didn't actually send the villagers back. He decided against it. So this to me is almost like he's saying, well, I was gonna go for an outpost, but then I realized I can't actually do anything with it. Because normally when you're playing the one base, you're looking to commit, right? If you're playing the one base, you're like, okay, this is the situation. This is how it's gone down. I'm playing with the one base. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I'm going to kill my enemy. I'm going to get my blacksmith. I'm going to get siege engineering. And I'm just going to push. I'm going to absolutely crush my enemy. But that's not happening here. His base is absent. There's absolutely nothing in his base that indicates he's doing that. In fact, it's almost a bit curious. What's the plan for him? Because he's still making longbows. He's sending them out. But we do see, instead of looking for blacksmith upgrades, we see wheelbarrow coming in. And this, to me, is a little bit strange, because this is not something that you would normally expect when he's going to do something like this. I tell you what, Protoss Master, you're an absolute enigma to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, because normally from this period, I feel that there's like 3 main ways that you can play English. Number 1, one base, where you go all in, you know, maybe you look for your eco upgrades a little bit later, like we see that's happening now, and that's basically it. Number 2, fast castle. Number 3 is big TC. And I'm a big fan of the big TC. I like big TCs. I like going big TC. But Numadan, on the defensive here, he's just going to be looking for the fast castle, which I think is definitely a safe play here. Obviously, you got a lot of pressure, but then the push that was once going to be coming out from our Protoss isn't there. And it's interesting, because he doesn't really see too much that's going on. In fact, he does now see this. He would see the gold vein. He would see the stable getting thrown down. And that's not the first stable, that's the second stable. He already knows about the first one. So this is a dangerous point right now for our Protoss Master. Khan going to be going down. Oh, just a little bit too slow there. So why is this point so dangerous for Protoss Master? The reason why is because he's scouted a lot of gold off the gold mine, so he knows that the age up's going to be imminent. He's also scouted that there's a second stable, which means that there's going to be double Lancer production coming through shortly from Numadan. He doesn't know how many double Lancers it could be, but the reality is that with 6 Spearmen, if you're going up against 4 Lancers, it's probably not going to be enough, especially when there's archers back there. But still, he looks to bring forward a villager here. And we do see Steeled Arrow going to be coming through. Looks to posture himself, unable to hit underneath that town center. You can see just how close the villagers are. Archer's going to be coming out, looking to trade off with him. A little bit of a mistake from Numadan. Wants to make sure he's only focusing down those Spearmen. The Spearman going to be the primary target here. And just throwing away a couple of units. And you can... he actually spots out right there the step out. Protoss Master should or could be going in for this right now. This would be massive if he does. Okay, there we go. Now he puts the pedal to the metal, realizes, hold on a minute, this is where we want to be going. Vil's going to be one shot. He jumps in and, oh my god, murder on the dance floor, ladies and gentlemen. We got a problem. We got a problem in paradise right now. Villagers can just get picked off here. Honestly, he should just be focusing villagers. Really, really smart choice here. Stop the age up completely. Really, really nice play from Protoss Master. And honestly, incredibly greedy from Numidan. I did not expect him to go for something like that. Very, very greedy. So where should have this step redoubt been? This step redoubt should have been right here under the town center. And then he moves over the step redoubt. Now, look, I don't want to tell like the top 30 players how to do it, but at the end of the day, that's the safe way to do it. And we can see 7 worker kills lost early. Mate, oh, he got close to an 8th one right there. Actually, did he get it? No, he didn't get it. Age up does come through. So Protoss Master, you know, initially I was talking about the fact that Protoss Master, he was in a bit of a tough spot because we knew the age up was imminent. We knew that there was going to be double Lancer production coming through, and we do see that is the case now with our first of the Lancers coming in. So we knew that was going to be the case, but he managed to really get quite a lot of value out of that. Unfortunately, he doesn't picket fence in the front fence here, and as a result, he's going to get left to dry. Going to lose 1 villager. Second villager almost makes it, almost dies, but not the case. Does stay alive. I feel like that villager is saying, "What was shooting me?" It just sounds like, "What was shooting me?" I guess that's probably a good question if you've just been shot. Maybe by an archer. Men at arms now going to be coming out. Smart move here from Numidan. And this is where the push really starts. And yeah, I was going to say, if you're building these walls, you need to get these walls down with more than 1 vil. That's 1 vil, but this is 2 to 3. You really need to get these bad boys up as quickly as possible. And you can see that push is coming through. I'm really hoping that Protoss Master realizes that. Gate's a bit of a mistake as well. I mean, he wants to get these units back inside, but you're probably just better off letting them die, quite honestly. The issue that he might have is that if Numidan looks to siege through the wall here, what he's going to be wanting to do is what you call it gating it, which is where you put a gate over the top of it and you instantly build a gate, and then that way you basically get a free repair of the wall instantly. And it can be hard to pull off. Sometimes it can get blocked, but it's a good way to guarantee that your wall will stay alive a little bit longer. But by putting that gate up, it says you can't do it. His only option is to repair it. And we see a white tower defense coming through here from our Protoss Master. This is the equivalent of the cybernetics core, guys, for anybody wondering. It's not really. It's probably more like the... oh, jeez, you saw that right there. Longbows getting caught out of position. I don't think there's anything really that you could draw comparisons with. White tower should be able to hold this, though. I mean, all that's going to happen is Numidan just moves down to this one. Or at least that's what he should do in this position. We see him moving away instantly, spotting that one out and forcing his enemy to go into white tower. I say forcing, but at the end of the day, I'll be honest, I really like this landmark as the English, and I've said it before. I think this landmark's probably one of the best in the game, just simply because of that production bonus that it got. So if we take a look here, you can see it works 100% faster. So that's on everything, right? Like, that's your upgrades that it works faster. That's on its units that it trains. It's on emplacements as well. It works faster on absolutely everything. So it's just great to have it so that you can flex into things like a Springald or a Mangonel or a battering ram. You know, there's always a battering ram that you might want. Shaman going to be coming out now. I thought it was a villager. I'm like, excuse me, what are you walling? Like, surely you're not walling anything. Interesting interaction coming through right now. So we've got the men-at-arms with 4 armor up against the longbowmen, 7 damage. So they're only getting 3 attack through, or 3 damage through. And as we suspected, he was going to be able to get through that wall. So that white tower, maybe that white tower, I mean, the white tower's in a decent spot. I reckon, like, here, if you could have got it down, maybe you couldn't have got it down there. Maybe that's why. And now those longbows are going to have to fall back towards the white tower. Town center also going to be stacked up as well. No stone at all. In fact, how much stone has he taken off it? 291. Not going to be enough for a town center. Just not yet. He wants to go for that second TC. Obviously knows how important it is, and we start hearing those relics getting picked up. The safe relic from behind Protoss Master's base gets snatched. Veterancy on the longbowman. And now we see the second tier upgrade coming through. Balanced projectiles for Protoss Master. Nice little defense here from him. This is a solid defense so far. The way that he's playing with the longbows. Obviously, like, for me, I'm much more of a fan of the crossbow. You do get a pretty decent coverage here with the longbowman. And it's very hard to penetrate through this. Obviously, yet to pick up +1 range defense, +2 range defense. Once those upgrades come through, these longbows are going to be doing a lot less. At the moment, with a total of 9 attack. But it's a solid defense from Protoss Master. He's looking a little bit more like a Terran right now. We'll right on board on the other side. Checking with Numadan as the double town center joins its play. Market's been thrown down. We also see the prayer tent. Maybe I'm wondering, like, from Numadan's perspective, why he decided to avoid playing trade. Because trade just feels like an absolute guaranteed way to win. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. How do you guys feel? Do you feel trade? There's a question of the day. Do you feel trade is a guaranteed win? I don't mean that like in the sense that like if you're trading, you're winning. I just feel like against a civilization like the English, which has, I wouldn't say that they've got trouble putting on pressure early, but they don't necessarily do it all the time, right? Like I would say that this game, you know what? Maybe against the Protoss Master, it was the right call. Don't go for early trade. I think that was the right call. I'll give him that. Against the Protoss Master. Maybe that's a play. You call yourself the Protoss Master and then you start booming like a Zerg. Maybe that's maybe that's the actual play. All right, Crossbowman's going to start joining the fray. Knight numbers looking pretty solid here as well. And Protoss Master definitely got a bit of a solid push coming out. Looks like one of the relics. He's going to get dropped down. So that'll be only 4 relics for Numadan. Oh, geez, only 4 relics. How sad. Not really. You're doing pretty well if you picked up 4 relics. Siege Workshop also going to get thrown down. Not looking to spend extra resources on that siege engineering. But does he look to drop down a monastery himself? He does. Okay. And subsequently sends out the monk, looking to pick up the relic. He's changed the direction on it. All right, we'll ride on board with Numadan for a little bit and see how he's doing. What kind of upgrades have we got coming through? Veterancy on the spearmen. We've got fertilization coming through, which is kind of interesting that we've got fertilization coming through for a Mongol civilization. I don't know what they're fertilizing exactly. I guess the sheep. But then, I mean, you probably just... They should change the name of that upgrade for the Mongols, specifically. Mongol fertilization upgrade changed to hay bales. There you go. Now you're talking. That's the kind of... You know, we're not going to fix the map pool, but we will fix... Sorry, I shouldn't. New Khan rises to join the battle, just in time, fortunately, as the knight numbers are looking solid out here. Remember, he's got the Yam network, so he's going to be able to chase down these English knights. And even though those English knights... You know, English knights, for anybody who doesn't know, English knights are the strongest knights in the game. Stronger than French knights. But I tell you right now, they're not the fastest knights in the game. That title definitely goes to the Chinese. Chinese with their Yuan dynasty. I mean, technically, it's probably the Mongols. Like, when you stack up all the buffs. I'd have to do the math on it, but I'm pretty sure it'd be the Mongols with, like, Yam network together with the Khan. The Khan's bonus is quite short. There's ways that you can buff it up, but compared to... I mean, I kind of like the idea of, like, the Chinese not Yam network, the Chinese Yuan dynasty. But I guess the one thing to note is that you don't always have Yuan dynasty either. So, you know, there's a further issue for you. All right. Second town center has gone down for Protoss Master. He's looking to play second base. You know these Protoss players, typical Protoss players, only expanding to their natural when they run out of resources in their main. This is a classic. Classic. All right, here he's actually getting... Oh, look at this. He gets line of sight on the Mangonel before it comes through. Very, very cheeky, sneaky. Numadan, unfortunately, going to be living to regret that one as the Mangonel does manage to go down. Oh, my lord. Can you believe that? He spotted the Mangonel from the line of sight on the wall. But is he going to pay for it with his life? Oh, my lord. Tell me about it right now. There's no spears here to catch these guys unaware. These guys are just... It's a sad state of affairs right now to be an English fan. He's going to get cleaned up completely. So, how does Numadan convert this into something tangible? He can look to push forward, but there's only going to be walls that he's got to deal with. So that's not going to be really that helpful. There's no overchops. He could go the long way around and look to hit through the backside. And I think that would be probably pretty solid. They're just going to start sieging the wall, putting on pressure. Probably the right decision there. Across the other side of the map, we do see spears going to get added in from Numadan. Interesting. Looks like Protoss Master going to be going into a bit of a standard composition here. Crossbow spear. One of the best in the game. It's up there at the moment. Crossbow spear, knight, crossbow. What else can you throw out? I guess we have been seeing quite a bit of knight spearmen, actually. We saw that in the Lucifron versus Vortex game. I don't know if you guys remember it, but the Lucifron versus Vortex game had both players going full knights. And then I think it was Lucifron who added spears at like around 20 knights. It was something ludicrous like that. It was absolutely crazy the amount of units that they had out. Trebuchet number 1 starting to roll in. Springald already coming out in anticipation. This is just what I love about the White Tower, right? Like, you don't have to drop a siege workshop down. You don't even have to think twice about it. And I love the fact that he's doing this because he knows that his enemies made mangonels. So there's going to be a tendency for him to do this. He's going to be able to bring the Springald up right towards this position here and should be able to take out the Traction Trebuchet over the top of it. There you go. You can see him. I don't know exactly. Yeah, he's clicked around here. And now just able to fire. A little bit of a mistake, honestly. I would have gone in a bit closer. That way you can maintain line of sight on the second shot as well. You can see how the second shot didn't get off. The Treb still would have survived, but you would have got that second shot off at least. So I would have brought it in right there. I reckon that's probably the correct play. First wall does come down, though. More outposts coming up as well. And Protoss Master slowly but steadily putting together a force here. We need a name for this composition. I want to give it a name. The Stabby Crossbow composition. Stab bows. Mangonel shot comes in. Manages to hit about 4 of the crossbows on the backside. Spears also going to be coming out from Numidar. Springald, nowhere to be seen. Excuse me, where did that Springald go? Did he get sniped out by enemy Springalds? Or was it the Springald in placement on the outpost? I got no idea what... I didn't even see it go down. Where did it die? What happened? It's not going to matter. The spears are just diving in. They'll look to solve the problem for now. There's the second Springald finally going to be coming in. Wouldn't be surprised if he's rallying another one as well. And the Treb's actually working down this palisade gate. Crossbow's giving a decent amount of damage here as well. There's a Springald on the backside, so maybe that was what actually took it out. But Springald numbers looking solid. He wants to avoid this post being set right now. This outpost being set, I guess you could say. Maybe the Trebuchets took out the Springald? Is that possible? I mean, it's possible. There's 3 Trebs here, right? Like, these guys do a lot of damage. It's 50 damage. You know what? I reckon that might be the case. I reckon the Trebs all hit the Springald. And none of them missed. So to hit the Springald, I think you need about 90% accuracy. So 3 of them. That's not 70% accuracy, I'll tell you now. I don't actually know how that works. I'd say probably closer to like 80%, somewhere around that region. The outpost's just doing so much work here. Vil's going to get pulled to try and clean it up. And at the moment, the issue that Protoss Master is going to have is that not only is he behind on villages, so he's behind about 8 Vils. You can see right there. I say about 8 Vils. Some would say about 8 Vils. He's also behind on relics, 4 against 1. But now sacred sites are starting to turn against him. And we have what might be one of the rarest standoffs in Age of Empires history. This is the sacred site standoff. I was going to say like the Mexican standoff, but I mean, they're not holding guns, right? Like, it's a very holy standoff that we've got down here. Who's going to be first to assist me? That's the question. Are they just going to leave these guys down here all game, contesting a sacred site? I mean, at the moment, it's in favor of Numidan. But perhaps, if we wait a little bit longer, Protoss Master may find a way back into the game. Through that sacred site specifically. Outpost going down. Protoss Master with the keep. And I'm loving the rewall here. Rewall's looking so good. Springald moving up. Protoss Master spotting it out. Avoiding it for the moment. Second Springald down here. Going to be looking to help out on the defense. Keep does go down. I mean, technically it goes up. But, like, it's gone down in that it's been placed down. But it got up in the end. So there's that. There's that you can go for. And now, I mean, I guess the issue that you've got, right, is like the timing for the Mongols has kind of been and gone. I wouldn't necessarily say been and gone because this civilization is strong throughout the game. And often it will come down to the player. Trebs. Watch out, Trebs. Look at the Springald speed. Oh my lord, those Springalds moving up. Look, race cars. Look at them go. At the same time, Archer's actually going to be switched into here from Numidan. Really smart move to go into Archers. Archer's actually going to be countering both of these unit combinations. But then obviously Men-at-Arms come out and they're like, yeah, try countering me now. I've got 7 armor. And technically he could have 8 armor soon. Another Siege Workshop going to get thrown down. How many Siege Workshops is that? Just two. I think he does have improved Siege Engineering though. And Sacred Site in the center. Going to be contested shortly. We'll check in on our Western Sacred Site. as both players look to pick it up. Eastern one not yet taken. A nice little push out here from Protoss Master. So as I was saying before, you kind of got this issue where, like, the Mongols, as a civilization, it's not that they fall off towards the late game, but it's that other civilizations get really strong in Imperial Age. And I still think the Mongols are good in Imperial Age. It just feels like the English have got a lot more going on. You're going up against, you know, some of the strongest units in the game. Obviously, the Knights, incredible. This Spim and Crossbow combo is incredible throughout the game. And I think the big highlight for me is just the economy, right? Like, it's the better farms. It's the fact they've got faster farms. And then they've got great synergy with their unit composition with the farms. So it's not uncommon to see 70 plus units or 70 plus farmers as the English. Especially because they get gold from it as well. Treb's looking to try and take down this keep. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, that was close. It was close. I've seen closer, but that was still pretty close. Man at Arms going to be coming out. Mangonel, big shot on the back line. And we see the first of the units coming to assist in the Sacred Site standoff. Treb still firing down. Keep is going to get up, albeit at 2k health, about 40%. Vils have got the option to repair, but only 136 stone is going to mean that there's not much to repair. You can see how quickly it's draining. Let me switch that over for you. Apologies, we're 26 minutes into this game, and I'm only just switching it now to the income, so you can get a bit of an idea of where these guys are at. Numidan, sitting at about 4.5k, compared to Protoss Master, who's sitting at about 3k at the moment. So, Numidan with a much greater economy at this point. Question's going to be whether he's got the better micro, though. Springled. He's definitely got the better numbers. Nice attempt there from Protoss Master, but he is outnumbered by an absolute mile, and you're never going to win that battle. So now the question is, when Imp? Because for Protoss Master, he kind of wants to get Imp really, really badly. Is he still making vills? He's still making villagers back here, Protoss Master? Yeah? I feel like you just started the villager at this town center. You didn't start making vills until I said it, did I? Did ya? I know what these guys are like. Alright, towards the north side of the map, though. The slow and steady build-up of siege. And this is... If the Mongols have got anything going for them, it's siege. I've talked about this before. I'll talk about it again. You've got roller shutter triggers, which is +2 range on the Springalds. And then you've got improved roller shutter triggers, which is +3. Now, you can't get both of these techs. You can get one... I mean, technically, you can get both of them, but it doesn't stack. It just gives you, so you can see right there, if roller shutter triggers has already been researched, then you just get the extra 1 tile of range. And that's huge, right? Like 13 tiles of range against 12. You might not think of it as big, but when you start talking about trading out between these units, where those who have got Springalds are allowed to have other types of siege, and those who don't have Springalds are not allowed to have siege. It makes it very one-sided for the Mongols in the late game, unless you're able to overwhelm them in some other way. Slowly pushing up. Let's ride on board with Protoss Master and see how he's doing. Because at the moment, he's going to begin pushing up that west side. Not a lot of walls going down on this map. Normally, on Altai at this point in the game, the whole edges of the map would just be completely walled off. But maybe because he's against the Mongols, he just doesn't feel like he needs to do it. Which kind of makes sense because we do see these walls coming down now. It kind of makes sense because often you're walling just to stop your enemy from walling. Nice little Springled move here. 3 shots will be enough to 1 shot. Doesn't actually move him into position. There we go. Going to be exposing his own Springalds. The trades come out. Numidan going to be able to take out the first one. Second trap also goes down. That's going to stop the death of the keep, at least for the moment. 6 Springalds, though, for Numidan. He's feeling really happy here. 187 population versus 168. So quite a bit of difference between these two guys. But a lot of resources in the bank at the moment for Protoss Master. He looks like he's going to be diving. Crossbowmen. Plenty of them here. No mangonels in sight. It's going to mean that they're absolutely fine. Now, remember, one of the best units in the game for the Mongols is also the crossbow, because they get that extra movement speed. And now we got ourselves a little bit of a battle beginning to unfold as the English player looks to defend against the Mongol onslaught. Mangonel getting some decent shots off here. Still that crossbow stance in the middle. They don't need that extra movement speed. They just shoot. They don't need to scoop. And now we've got the attack speed arrow going to be popped up. Look how quickly they fire from this standing position. Just blitzing the front line right there. And able to hold. And this is part of the reason why the Mongol crossbow is so strong. Mongol crossbows are incredible. In fact, by far the best Mongol unit is just the crossbow. And it's not because the crossbow gets extra bonuses. It's not because it gets a cool little hat. You can see he's got a cool hat. The reason why he's so strong... Oh, I apologize. Have we had that UI up that whole time? That's how unprofessional of me. I thought I pressed that button. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. You've been having a look at that UI this whole time? Poor guys. So the Mongol crossbowman is the best Mongol unit because, number one, it gets buffed up by the YAM network, so it has a higher movement speed than any other crossbowman. That's the first point. Number two, it's got a lot of flexibility from the Khan. And you might be thinking, Drongo, but every unit gets the movement speed from the YAM and every unit gets the flexibility from the Khan. That's true. But that's where the weaknesses of the crossbows are. It's in its movement speed. It's a very slow unit. On top of that, because of the power of the Mongol siege, it allows the crossbows to never be threatened by their arch enemy, the Mangonel. The Mangonel is what always... You know, whenever I see a massive, like, 15 crossbows, I'm like, okay, Mangonel time. I'm not even going to... I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to make horsemen. I'm just going to get a Mangonel. And then, you know, it'll come down to micro. We'll see who wants it more. You want it more? I want it more. Let's work that one out. But because you've got constant pressure with the Springalds, it means that you're able to keep your crossbows alive for longer. They don't have the threats that the other civilizations do. And I'm sure that you might be saying, but Drongo... Not every civilization can make Springalds. And yeah, that's true. But not every civilization can make them on the field without ever getting into a siege workshop. And then eventually when you do get to Imperial, you get all these improved upgrades. Improved roller shutter triggers. Improved movement speed. And then we got a little bit of a switch down here on the west side. You used to meet me on the west side. I like that it's both of them bringing spearmen to the party. Now we got ourselves another battle unfolding. Look at the men-at-arms completely looking to just take this game by storm. Going full men-at-arms against full crossbows. Just when you thought it wasn't going to be okay, the crossbows come out to play. Now this right here is what makes these crossbows so strong. It's that YAM bonus. Now, unfortunately, he's got no YAM. No Springald emplacement. Khan going to be going down here as well. So everything that makes these crossbows stronger that we were just talking about is pretty much non-existent. Now we do see finally the YAM is going to be lit up here on a couple of these crossbows. They need to get that extra movement speed. Mangonel going to be helping out against the longbows on the backside. Slowly but steadily. This is why the crossbow is the ultimate unit for the Mongols. Because he's going to kite and he's going to kite and he's going to keep on kiting. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can technically make longbows, I'll give you that, but then we've got a Mangonel that's going to settle that score very quickly. I tell you what, that blitz coming out from Protoss Enjoyer, Protoss Player, Protoss Master, Protoss Man, Protoss Master. We got it eventually. That blitz was looking somewhat like a zealot. Like a zealot charge right there. He actually thinks he's playing Protoss. Oh my lord, that's a lot of Idlevilles. Okay, gets fixed up by Numenor. But he actually thinks he's playing Protoss, like the men-at-arms charging. It looked exactly like it. Oh man, that's too funny. I mean, some people... look, I know that they gutted the... they gutted the competitive side of StarCraft. And it feels bad, honestly. It sucks, because whether you like it or not, having StarCraft as another RTS game that people can play is a good thing, right? It's a good thing for the RTS scene in general, because it means there's more money in it, there's more numbers in it. So losing that really hurts. It doesn't just hurt them, it hurts us as well. It might not be directly, it's indirectly, but it still hurts, all right? So it looks like some refugees are starting to come, though. And and we've definitely picked up one here. Look at the men-at-arms. He actually thinks he's playing Protoss. He's like, I'm making zealots right here. These are tanky zealots. I mean, zealots are already pretty tanky, but still. Do we have elites coming through on the crossbowmen? Indeed we do. It's a bit hard to tell because they already have the hats. Oh, now they got golden hats. They got like little golden duck feathers on the front. You can hear those mangonel shots coming out, but the mangonels being kind of irrelevant to these men-at-arms. And I'm loving this style that he's playing. This is something that I've kind of wanted to talk about, is that men-at-arms feel really good against crossbows once they reach this kind of number. It actually feels crazy good. Springald's going to be under a little bit of pressure. We see not only is the charge there, but there's also the Yam and the elite upgrade coming through at the same time. Numadan looking to chase away these Springals. These guys don't have their extra movement speed, that is for sure. They do have the attack speed, though. That's definitely going to help them out here. Men-at-arms getting completely destroyed. And Numadan able to hold here against all of the hordes of men-at-arms. Oh, my lord. This is Horseman, right? It's got to be Horseman. Yeah, it's Horseman. This is someone who's invested way too much into farms. He's got 47 vills on farms. That's not too bad. I mean, you're at 126. Yeah, that's about where you'd want to be at this point in the game. I take it back. It's not way too much. You got to keep those Springals moving, though. Don't stop believing. Don't stop the Springals. Horsemen need to start building up, though. This isn't enough. It's not enough Horsemen. He needs more Horsemen. Springals do manage to make it out alive. Horsemen making it onto the backside. Let's ride on board with Numadan for a little bit. See what his production is looking like on the backs. Treb's still firing off. Plenty of production. Look at the sheep that he's got going down here. Build up on the front. Still happening. And this is the hard part about going horsemen, is that they need to, it's not a critical mass that they need to hit, but you need to have like 20 horsemen for them to actually get their worth in, because the power of the horsemen is not from their tankiness, but it's from their double damage that they get versus ranged units. So for you to really take advantage of that, you need to make sure that you've got enough that are out there doing damage. Springald's going to be falling back to the White Tower. Crossbow's here to join. No age up still coming through from Protoss Master. Oh my lord, those Trebs do damage, don't they? There's nothing quite like it. I guess a ram technically is kind of like it. And now when we ride on board, we can see that Protoss Master has walled off the edges of the map. Little bit of a wolf getting in on the action. A little bit of bitey infantry, if you will. And Numadan looking to push in for the kill here. I mean, how does Protoss Master hold in this position? He's down on economy. Production is getting camped. Crossbow numbers are almost impossible to deal with. I think he can still probably deal with these crossbows right now. The problem that he's going to have is improved roller shutter triggers, which isn't through yet. I mean, he's only up against roller shutter triggers, but here you go. Improved roller shutter triggers on the way through. And once that happens, like, you just can't make any siege. That's it. You are done making siege. I mean, you could make, like, trebuchets, but that's it. You're not making anything else this game when it comes to siege. Look at the range on these things as well. These are literal snipers. And not just, like, Mongolian snipers, American snipers. These things are crazy with their range. Numadan continuing to push through. Have we got elite horseman as well? Jeez, he's got so much gold. I tell you what, he didn't even need to trade this game. He's eaten all the gold out on the map. He's like a honey badger. He doesn't care. Even the Ville's trying to get in on the action, having a bit of a tough time. And I think overall, like, from this game, the best way I would say is, like, what can you do better as a Protoss player? Look to expand a little bit sooner. Maybe take that natural. Maybe take your third base a bit sooner. Try and get that economy online so that you scale into the late game. Anyway, fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this caster game. Bit of an interesting one. And, of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and check out the Patreon.